welcome again to Jason's in the House. I'm your host, Jason Paracella. I'm a real estate agent over at Keller Williams Realty at the Cumming Center in Beverly. Our guest today is Giuseppe Napalitino, and he is the owner of Napalitino Granite and Marble, or Marble and Granite on Bridge Street in Beverly. And welcome, Giuseppe. It's nice to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, great, great. So before we get started into some of the detail on what you offer in your company, can you tell us a little bit about you, your company, how you got started? You have a location on Bridge Street in Beverly, correct?
Yes.
And you have another location?
Our main location is 448 Andover Street in Lawrence.
In Lawrence, okay.
Massachusetts.
Okay, so when did you get started?
I started in the granite business in 1989 at a little place. And then, we moved from that old place to another place when, things started to go good. So we established our business, and we had to move to a bigger location. And, little by little, we outgrew.
Yeah.
So things turned out to be pretty good. We had made a couple of additions to the new place. So now we have a warehouse, a place where we cut and fabricate all our material.
Okay. So your main location now is in Lawrence?
Yes, we do all our fabrication in Lawrence.
Okay.
We have a showroom in Beverly, 81 Bridge Street.
Yeah.
At the old Rothfuss Market.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that. That was my dad's store, yeah.
I'm sure you are. Yes.
So when did you come to Beverly? That was what, 3 years ago?
1987.
Was it 97?
2007, I'm sorry.
2007.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Apologize.
All right, so you've been in business for quite a while. Now, what did you do before you got in the granite business?
I was a mason.
Oh, okay.
I learned the trade back in the old country. I came over here in 1964, and barely with a clothes on my back and with a deep pocket. Maybe I had 10 cents in my pocket at the time. So thank God, this country has been very, very good to me. God bless God, this country for giving me the opportunity to make it.
Excellent. So
this is a great country.
So you've really worked. This is all from you.
I started from scratch. I started with a little shovel and a little wheelbarrow from the hood of my car, them days, and then things, little by little, things improved.
Yeah.
And this is the land of opportunity.
So you learned the trade in Italy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, who taught you?
Well, old timers.
Okay.
Growing up back home, we all grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
Then the farm was too small for all of us, so me and my brothers, we all ended up going into construction, and we all learned the trade and being a mason, because over there they teach you all kinds of things.
Just curious too, was your dad anything, did he do any masonry work or anything?
My father was a farmer, no, he was never a mason, no.
Okay.
So we're learning our own, other old timers, then when you go to work, if you want to learn, they give you the opportunity. If you don't want to learn, then you're going to be a donkey for the rest of your life.
Right, yeah. So how did you make the transition? What happened between, a mason, and how did you get more into the marble and the granite?
Well, it came a time when in Lawrence there was a church that for some reason they knocked it down, and I was involved on taking all the marble out of the church. I bought it all. I took all the altars, all the marble columns, whatever. And I had all this stuff on my hand, didn't know what to do with it. So the idea came that I set up a little bit of a shop, start to process some of this stuff, and try to sell it, make some money out of the deal.
Right.
And so little by little, other things came along. Then we started involved with the fireplaces, kitchen countertops, floors, things of that nature, with marble and granite.
Okay. So so you started quite a while ago. How has the business changed throughout the years? I mean, do you see more people? Was granite countertops? Was that
at the time? No,
that wasn't really
granite
popular,
countertops came into, start to be pretty popular maybe in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Because at the time, the old shops, they were using marble, because at the time granite was not so popular. Marble was the stone of choice at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the then these granite started coming along, because of course in this area we have quite a few quarries that the people were starting to use. But then we got granite from all over the world now. Brazil, India, China, Russia, Italy, and they have all these fancy colors that they made the native granite almost outdated. So by being so popular, then little by little, everybody started to use granite for countertops.
Right.
It became, the top, countertop of choice
Right.
for many people, because you cannot outlive granite. It stays there forever.
Yeah. So when you, where do you get most of your products from?
We have distributors in the area. They get that material from, like I said, Brazil.
What's the
India.
most popular? Is Brazil the most popular place where you get it? Or?
Right now, Brazilian and India are the most popular. They are the biggest producers of granite at the moment.
Now,
They have the most variety.
So they have, so as far as coloring and unique colors and things like that,
Yes,
more Brazil
they
or
have
India?
very, very unique colors. If you see the colors that they have today, it boggles your mind.
Yeah.
Really, because there's an infinity. I guess if I say it's 1,000 different colors, I might not be accurate. There might be a lot more than that.
Now, is it all, are these all these colors natural colors?
These all natural colors,
So they
all made by the Almighty.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. So many different.
So they come out of the mountains, the earth. They cut them in blocks. The technology today is amazing what they can do with it. They cut. Now they have these big chainsaws. They have wire saws. They have circular saws. They cut all these blocks out of the mountain. They bring them down to the mills. They have these machines. They put them on the machines. And it's like a conveyor belt setup. It slices just like you slice cheese these days.
Huh.
It puts on a conveyor belt, and it goes to another room where they polish it, and it goes to another at the other end where they all stack it, ready to ship to different shops.
So when you get it in your shop, how do you get it? Like in a what size
I get it
piece?
in sheets. It says average is 5 feet by 9.5 feet, 6 feet by 10 feet, sheets of 1.25 inch thick or 3/4 inch thick.
So what would be, so when 1.25 inches, what would you use that for? Is it different?
The stone, the 1.25 inch is the thickness that we use the most for
Okay.
kitchen countertops.
And what's the other, the other one's thicker?
3/4 inch we use sometimes for a fireplace around, or for backsplash, or for shower,
Yeah.
shower walls, because they're lighter, and we use it for that reason. But the 1.25 inch is used because it looks better, thicker. Actually, the 3/4 inch, very rarely we use it in granite. What we use more, 3/4 inch, is the marble.
Yeah.
Because we use the marble for vanity tops, for fireplaces surrounds, for flooring, for shower stalls, for that nature.
Right. So, okay. So, because I was thinking too, the granite must get very heavy to put on like a shower wall.
Well, we cut in sheets so we can handle it.
Right.
But now they have this new material, this man-made material that they came along. They can make that a half inch thick, or even 3/8 of an inch thick, where it's much lighter to use.
I see.
But most of the times, because of the cost, we don't use it that much. Most of the time they use tiles, granite tiles on the walls, because it's much cheaper to handle, to use, and at the same time easier to handle to put up on the walls.
So is the man-made product less expensive or more expensive than the granite?
It's more or less the same price as
Same
granite.
price, yeah.
Yes, it's more, less, depends on the color.
So between marble, granite, what's more expensive, marble or granite?
Again, the same.
About the same?
Some marble is very expensive, some granite is very expensive. Sometimes it's cheaper, and some marble.
It has to do with what, the color?
It varies depending on the color and where it comes from. Because some of the colors marble are very expensive and very, very exotic. But we're getting the same thing in granite now. These fancy colors that come up lately, it boggles your mind.
So that's more
They make you
expensive.
pay for it.
Yeah, that's the more expensive.
Yes.
So it must be harder to get those colors and mine that particular
Yes.
granite or marble, and it's going to cost you more money.
We sell in groups. Group 1, 2, 3, and 4. That makes it the group one is the least expensive, and it goes up from there. So they give us an idea what the granite we're going to use, how much that price is per square foot when they sell it to us, so we can put the price together, sell to the customer, either for group one, if it's a certain price, for group of 2 or 3, if it's a certain price, a higher price.
I see. Okay. So how much do you get involved when you get these big sheets? You must have
Yes.
like the warehouse or where you cut everything?
Yes,
and
we have a special, we call, we store it in a warehouse. We have like these, they look like tracks, and then the tracks has a hole in it, and they have this post where we put one on each side, and we put the sheet of the stone in the middle, of granite in the middle. Then we have forklifts with a clamp. What it does, it locks the granite, and we pick it up with a forklift. The harder, the heavier the piece, the more it locks in, and we can transport the place all over.
I see.
Then we get it from the warehouse to the machine, where one of my sons cuts it in shape, the size that we need. Then they put on carts, and then it goes into the CNC machine, where the CNC machine does the rest of the work. Does the edging, cuts out the sinks, does the holes for the faucets,
Does the whole,
and it cuts the grooves for reinforcing at the cutout of the sink.
Huh. And then do you guys get involved with the actual installs?
We
You
do
go right to somebody's house
everything we do ourselves. I have one crew that does the finish, one crew one fellow that goes out to do the templating, then we have another crew that goes out to do the installation.
So you do the whole thing, so you make sure that it's done?
We do everything's controlled, everything, one of my other son does the installation, and I have another son, he also works, he works with the CNC.
I see.
CNC is the automated machine, a robot that does everything.
Okay, so you have 3 boys that are working with you
Yes,
in the company?
the son is Tony, Luca, and Joseph.
Oh, good, so the whole family's in there, yeah.
Yes, it's a family-run business.
That's good. So you're kind of the overseer now, huh? You
Yes,
know,
well, they all started young. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, all of them, they all started young in the business.
yeah,
Tony was about, when he started working for me, he was about 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. He was a tender
yeah,
working for me. The other 2 did the same thing.
yeah.
They all worked as they were young. They grew up in the business,
Yeah.
me.
Oh, that's good. So, why don't we talk a little bit about, and I know you brought some stuff with you, why don't we start
Yes.
showing some of this? We'll talk about some of the differences between the different stones. If we can get this
This is
on camera, here we
man-made.
go.
We call it quartz. It's a composition of so much of epoxy and so much of natural quartz and natural chips of marble or granite. They put it all together, and they make sheets out of it. Believe it or not, they make a paste. They put in these big tables. They make sheets out of it, and they bake it. And before you know it, you end up with a sheet the size of, say, 52 inches by 120 inches long. Very steady, very hard. Stress-wise, it's very strong. And it's been applied today quite a bit, because sometimes, even though we have so many colors in granite, you cannot satisfy everybody. So they make these man-made, to satisfy some people.
So maybe for a more of exotic color in the man-made would cost you less than trying to get it.
Not
Or
so
is
much less, it pretty much
About
costs
the
the
same,
same.
yeah.
About the same. I personally prefer natural stone.
The natural.
Yes.
So you said that has mostly what? You said it has quartz in it.
Yes.
And what was
yes,
the other
it's-
one?
That's what they call quartz stone. The quartz, the same. Then it's chips
Chips of granite.
or natural stone. And they put it in there. They mix it all up. Then
I
put a
see,
certain
yeah.
amount of epoxy. So they call it resoner.
Yeah.
That mix it all together, and that gives the strength to hold together.
So is there a disadvantage or an advantage to that over the other 2 stones, or is it kind of a preference of
This
your own
has
choice?
some advantages for the simple reason that you don't have to seal it so often. But then again, not because you want to bed mount it, but it's not been around long enough for us to form a solid opinion to say, yes, this thing is going to be there for the longest time.
How long has it been out for?
Probably, might say 15, 20 years.
So it hasn't, yeah,
So there's some good things in it about it, but again, I'm not 100% satisfied with it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But that reason, not because I want to say it's bad about it. The question people are asking me, what's the difference between this one here, the natural stone, right? My answer is, this is man-made.
It's man-made, yeah.
And that's a God-made.
Right.
So you take it from there.
Right, right.
So,
All right, so what do we got next on your pile
Okay.
there?
this is marble.
Okay, so that's marble. So this is,
Yeah.
now, what are the major differences between marble and the granite?
Marble is much softer stone, much more porous. As a matter of fact, when if you're a geologist, you can tell this. It started out as a limestone, and then in time, when it ended up in the earth crust, you got to be a geologist to explain all these things over
Yeah.
here. It's much porous than granite.
So it's going to
So
absorb more.
I will not use this for countertops. You can use this for fireplace surrounds. We use it a lot for vanity tops because it does not get abused like the granite does.
Right.
So I tend to be skeptical if anybody comes along and says, we would like to have a marble countertop. I always try to dissuade them not to use it for the simple reason. It scratches easy. This has been used a lot, very, very popular in tiles, like this size here.
For flooring.
For flooring?
Yeah.
Yes, for flooring, so for that reason.
Now, so if someone said to you, I'm trying to choose between a ceramic tile floor and
Yes.
a marble floor,
Yes.
what would you talk to them about? What would you
Well,
say?
if you want a luxury, you use marble. If you want durability, you use ceramic.
So ceramic's actually more
Yes.
durable.
Ceramic, it withstands acid, scratches, abuse. You can go up and down it, they never do anything.
Right.
Marble, you have to be very, very careful.
So it's more delicate.
I will not use, especially in the kitchen, in a place where there's a lot of traffic, because in time it will get abused.
You get abused, yeah.
Yes,
Do you sell ceramic tile?
We sell ceramic tiles, yes.
You do sell
Also,
ceramic
we have
tiles.
ceramic tiles, we have porcelain tiles, and they also got some kind of they call it tumble stone also.
Now, do you actually carry stone, regular stone? I've seen I was in a house the other day, the bathroom actually, the walls of the bathroom was stone.
Yes.
It was like a stone bathroom.
I mean, they look like a natural stone.
Yeah, like natural stone.
Sometimes they make tiles out of them, and they tumble them, and they make it look like some kind of a stone you put against the wall. But they cut the size like this here, 3/8 of an inch, or sometimes a half inch. Then they put it in a machine that does a tumbling, almost like a cement mixer, and it kind of stretches the edges, it cracks them, it chips them, and it gives the natural look.
So what is it? What's that material then? Is it?
That again, because it's so porous, I will not tend to use. I'll be careful not to use it.
On stone, just yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in the shower, where you get a lot of moisture, because most of the time they even take the shine off it, and by so doing, you're taking the very protection off the stone.
Yeah.
And that thing is very, very absorbent.
So would you put marble in a bathroom walls? Or is that not a good idea?
I personally, in my house, I use ceramic.
Ceramic tile.
I use granite in the shower. I use sheets of granite in the shower.
On the walls of the shower?
On the walls of my house.
Yeah.
Because granite takes more abuse. And I tell people about it to be very careful when you use, especially today, they use a lot these, what they call it, horned finish. The horned finish is the last step before you get the shine on the stone. And the surface is pretty porous on the marble. Granite, not so. Granite is much harder. It will take the abuse.
Yeah.
But when people do insist on using it, I also tell them that to give it at least a couple of coats of sealer to protect it, and do it very often, 3 or 4 times a year.
If it's not shiny, it's more. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If I was to use, I'll use the shine.
Now, when you put the granite, when you put it in the tub, on the walls,
Yes.
how do you caulk it to the tub is it, what's the caulking? Because you know how you get the mold and the caulking and all that?
They have
Is
a
it-
new technology today in the shower stalls, which is very important. When you do the walls, you prepare it with what they call either Duroc or weatherboard.
Yeah, I've seen, yeah, the
Yes,
Dura
yeah.
Rock, yeah.
Then they have this new material. It's like a paint. That you paint the whole thing with this stuff. It's very, very, very moisture resistant. Actually, the thing, you can throw water, and also you can even do the bottom of the floor of the shower with that material. Once you put the stuff down, I'm sure the tile men, they all know that now.
Yeah.
You put the stuff down, you can throw water in there, and it will not go anywhere. It will not penetrate it.
So when you do the seams,
There's the seams, I mean
yeah,
the
and then
joints.
you know when it goes to the tub,
Yeah.
the seam of what are you caulking that
They
with?
usually, once you do the prep with the moisture resistant barrier behind it, then you don't have to do anything at all. But it's good to put the caulking, because now they have a caulk that looks just like the color of the grout.
I see.
So, if you excuse me, and also makes it more resistant to
Okay.
moisture to go through.
Okay. Yeah, because that's always an issue. You know, everybody, all the seams get all the, you know, you start getting the
that's
mold and everything else.
You always get a little bit of a movement,
Yeah,
and the grout tend to fall apart.
yeah,
Because a good tile man puts a caulking behind it, especially in the corners. And then once he puts it together, he put a bit of caulking also in the joint. That makes it from, if it moves a little bit, at least the caulking gives a little,
yeah.
and it makes it much more moisture resistant.
Now, are you dealing with corian anymore? Is that still
Corian?
corian or
No, we
what's the
don't
other
do
one?
that.
Swanstone?
No, it's not our, no,
Yeah.
it's not our, no, it's not our business, you know, it's different.
It's a
something
different, yeah, it's a
something a
totally,
different stone, yes. It's
Yeah.
another stone, it's a synthetic material, it's plastic.
yeah,
We don't do that,
yeah,
no,
okay.
we don't, but,
Let's go to the next
okay.
sample.
Now, this is granite.
So that's the granite piece, okay.
Yes, yeah. As you can see, the colors in this thing are infinite. Now, if you want to describe how these colors came about, I don't know, you probably have to be God. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I guess this quartz, this granite is made of 4 different minerals: quartz, feldspar, bromlite. You know, you know, that when they come out, you know, go the heat of the earth, melts them all together. And the quartz, that's what forms, you know, these different colors.
Right.
You know, it can become dark, light, different colors. If you know, that makes the composition of the granite.
So that's the, what's the thickness of that piece?
This is 3/8 of an inch. This is a
That's
tile.
the three, that's the
This
tile.
is a tile, but we use this mostly in 1.25 inch for our
The kitchen.
countertops.
Now, would you put that on a floor?
Yes, I would put this on the floor. Yes,
You
this,
would.
This will take
What about,
the,
does it get slippery though when it gets wet?
well, don't forget, back in the old country, Italy, it's been used everywhere.
Yeah,
It's, you know, it really doesn't cause any problems.
yeah,
You go to airports, no matter where you go, public buildings, they all have these
It's all
stuff on the
granite.
floor, all marble,
so in
Yeah.
Italy, you kind of find more granite or marble?
marble.
Marble,
Now the granite is taken over because of the hardness of that, because it's much more resistant than marble.
okay. Believe it or not, we only have about 5 minutes left.
Oh,
So let's get into some of your other,
okay.
I want to show these other 2 samples so we can, because I
Yes.
want to see, people see the kind of a
This
difference.
is this is the thickness, the 2 thickness of the granite, 1.25 inch we use today. And this is one of those what they call exotic colors. As you can see, the variety of colors is infinite. You know, if you able to see all of them, you know, it boggles your mind.
Now,
That's it.
what group would that be?
This
you
will be the
talked
group,
about-
group 4.
That's the
one
most
of more
expensive?
one of the more expensive.
And that's the
yes.
countertop
Yes, sir.
thickness?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is another one, exotic stone. It's called green forest. It's not quite marble. It's not quite granite. There's something in between. It's
So
very,
it's marble
very.
and granite.
That's it. You know,
It's like a,
it's almost like a limestone, sort of, kind of soft, but because the colors, it's very attractive because people like the colors of it. But the only bad thing about this thing over here is as you can see all these veins. As this stone has a lot of cracks in it, And what they do now, they pour epoxy, they needle, epoxy into these cracks before they cut the block. So let it dry, and then, as you can see, the epoxy becomes part of the stone.
Oh,
It
I
makes
see.
it look almost like natural. That's, as you can see from the back, you can feel it.
So
the way
it's
it
a
comes
little,
out.
yeah.
See that? So they're doing a very good job. But before, we had a hard time working with this stone because every time we used it, it used to fall apart because there had so many cracks in it. All these
And when you try to cut it and stuff, it would kind of.
Yes, it was very weak. And many times we used it, and that thing almost fall off our. It broke, the corners used to break off our heads.
Yeah.
So we kind of they're aware with it for that reason. But now they have a new technology. They put a net behind it, and they come up with this solution that needle the epoxy right into the cracks before they start cutting it.
Now, as far as the way porous, is it
This is a bit porous,
more than marble or less than marble?
less than marble.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind
Really?
of
So
between the marble and granite. Yeah.
So where would you use that mostly? I mean,
This has been used for countertops also. Yes, we use this quite often for countertops. We tell people how to take care of it, how to protect it, and take it from there.
so the reason why someone would use this because of the kind of the coloring of it?
And because we have decorators at times that they tend to, be a little sophisticated, so they want to use
Yeah. They specify this type of.
certain colors. Yeah, so we got to give them what they want.
Yeah. All right, anything else we should know about? I mean, if someone asked you real quick, we've got a couple minutes left, said,
Sure.
I want to do, what material do you recommend I use?
I
Just
recommend granite.
Granite.
Yes.
Sounds like, yeah, that's what I
Yes,
thought you would
yes.
say that. So granite seems to be the most.
Granite is, I mean, if you go around the cemeteries, some piece of granite has been over there forever.
Yeah,
It will stay there forever.
yeah.
In the kitchen, that's what I use. If you want to use it, enjoy it for many years to come. We've done some works for 15, 20 years ago. If people come around and tell us the thing looks like the day we put it in.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, before we end, why don't you tell us, if someone wanted to get a hold of you or contact you, why don't you just tell us how someone would get a hold of you or your company?
Our location in Lawrence is 448 Andover Street. The telephone number is 978-688-2225. And in Beverly, our location is 81 Bridge Street, and our number is 978-922-0064. And again, we are located at the old Roth's Market, and the gentleman knows him very well.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We're very informed. I'm sure people have some more questions for you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good. Well, before we close, I certainly want to thank BevCam tonight for all their help, as usual. And if anybody out there has any questions for me personally, or you'd like to be on the show, feel free to contact me at 978-927-6030. And we look forward to being with you next time on Jason's in the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much.